Women are frequently left out of music history, particularly in soul, R&B, and funk. Curtis Mayfield, the Lovelites, and Jerry Butler dominated the narrative in Chicago. You may have heard of hit-making divas like Minnie Riperton, Frontella Bass, and Mav Staples, but even when women are mentioned, they are typically regarded as an afterthought. Girl groups from Chicago such as the Sequins and the Gems are sometimes disregarded in comparisons to their Detroit counterparts. The focus of today's video is largely a forgotten group, even though they had things going for them initially. Today's video is centered around the Lovelites. Now before we get started in today's video, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. The group included sisters Patty Hamilton and Rosina Petty, as well as their friend Barbara Peterman. All three members resided at the Argyle Gardens apartments that resided on the south side of Chicago. These were some of the very first black housing complexes. The three attended Carver High School, where they sang on street corners, school functions, and at talent shows, as most groups do. By 1967, the group released 2 singles with I Found Me a Lover and You Better Stop It. That was released under Bandera Records. That next year in 1968, Peterman left the group and was replaced by Ardell McDaniel. In 1969, the group enjoyed their very first hit single with the song How Can I Tell My Mom and Dad. Now this single echoes the Supreme's teen pregnancy theme of Love Child. This Lovelight singles depicts the story of a young woman who abandoned her child's father and was frightened to inform her parents about her situation. About 50 years ago, this was a far more scandalous scenario. This single sold over 400,000 copies, landing them a deal with Uni Records. Petty had quit the group by the time they signed their new contract, and she was replaced by another local vocalist who attended Hyde Park High School, Joni Berlin. That same year, in 1969, they released 2 singles with Who You Gonna Hurt Now? And This Love Is Real. How it feels. You've been hurt so bad. These 2 tunes are ideal for the group since they highlighted their beautiful, stringy soaked soul sound with Love from the Lovelites that same year. Now this album didn't make much of an impression when it originally came out, but is now regarded as a classic album among real soul fans, mainly due to the original copies being very hard to find. By 1971, the group had signed to Clarence Johnson label that was originally created for them called Lovelites Records. At this time, Johnson was one of the group's primary producers. To duplicate the group's success, they launched numerous of singles that mimic How Can I Tell My Mom and Dad, with songs like My Conscience, Got into my bed to lay down my weary head. My Baby Loves Me. My baby loves me. Oh. And Bumpy Road Ahead. But just look at the love we've got. You can't stop. Now these singles had similar tunes that brought them national recognition, but it just didn't catch on. McDaniel departed from the group mid-1971 and was replaced by Rhonda Grayson. Cotillion Records signed the group in 1972. Around the same time, the group renamed themselves Patty and the Lovelites in recognition of Patty's songwriting abilities and frequent role as the group's primary vocalist. Now with this new lineup, the group released many tunes including Love Bandit,
I can't stand it, Love Bandit, I just can't stand it, Love Bandit,
I'm the One You Need.
So if you decide on choosing me,
Is This Loving in Your Heart?
Is a little bit strange. You start
And We Got the Real Thing.
the real thing. Cause when he squeezes me into his arms, he fills my heart with loving charm.
These songs was fantastic. They could have been the crossover smash that Roberta Flack or Gladys Knight was enjoying at the time, but it wasn't meant to be and it didn't chart. The group recorded a few additional singles including Love So Strong,
There's really no point in us discussing who's right or who's wrong. Cause you know in the long run,
Oh My Love,
oh my love, you my love, oh my.
Get It Off My Conscience,
Get him off of my conscience, yeah. Got to take a walk. Got to.
and Oh What a Day. By 1973, the group chose to call it quits after the death of Johnny Cameron, who was the group's other principal producer and arranger for most of their careers, as well as Grayson and Berlemon's departure from the group. Now during the 80s, the trio was in high demand as backup vocalists around Chicago. The Lovelites, like many other soul singers of that time, continued to gain new supporters decades after their initial breakup. Their music has been republished multiple times around the whole globe. As I previously indicated, the Windy City has a lot of outstanding vocalists, and women, particularly groups, are sometimes disregarded in the favor for their Detroit rivals who had taken over the game. The Lovelites are one of Chicago's most unappreciated groups of all time.